Tuesday night was an historic one for the Orioles franchise and sports broadcasting as a whole. Melanie Newman made her play-by-play debut for the team, becoming the first woman in team history to broadcast a regular season game. She became the fourth active female broadcaster in Major League Baseball, joining Jenny Cavnar. She's been in studio with us of the Rockies, Susan Waldman, of course, of the Yankees, and ESPN's Jess Mendoza. Melanie joins us now on Central. Good morning to you, Melanie. How are you?
Hey guys, good morning. We're just getting ready for this next Marlins game.
Well, congratulations to you. We are all fans. So many questions. We can all attest to this. It's one thing to know what you're going to say in a broadcast. Play-by-play is a different animal. How nervous were you before your first pitch?
Honestly, the way that everything has gone this year, by the time the actual game rolled around for the regular season, there weren't a lot of nerves left anymore. We had one game in spring training together before everything got shut down. And then fortunately, Jeff Arnold and I got to call the last game against the Nationals, an exhibition, before we went to the regular season. So by the time everything was said and done, having waited for so long, the nerves that I had in that first spring training game, they were pretty much non-existent at that point. It was just an eagerness to be able to get back to work, honestly, and feel like I was contributing to something.
Melanie, my first TV job was in Minot, North Dakota. I remember carrying my camera into Saskatchewan, Canada, and shooting JV ice hockey. And I remember watching the TV screen. Yeah, I remember. And by the way, in ice hockey, if you miss a goal, like you go to the bathroom, you miss a goal, you got to stay for the whole game. Anyways, I remember watching the TV screen and watching Leslie Visser and thinking, maybe, just maybe, someday I could be there. Who did you watch growing up? Who did you want to emulate?
Honestly, it's crazy because I was an extreme introvert as a kid, so I never thought I would be a broadcaster in my life. I found a groove with print journalism when I was in high school, and it wasn't until I got into college and had a couple of people who were working with me said, you know what, no, we want to make you make the switch. From there, I had a mentor in Ricky Hazel who said, we're going to put you on sidelines. And then Justin Baker, who was the director of broadcasting for the Mobile Bay Bears at the time, who, of course, no longer exists, he was the one who said, no, you're going to come in the booth. And so I'm very grateful that I had people who saw more in me than I probably saw in myself at the time. And when I looked back on it and the way that my dad really attached to certain broadcasters, I was able to pick up on why that was. We grew up in the heart of the SEC. So Jim Fife, who was the voice of Auburn University for so many years, he was a guy that just always stuck out to us, and why he was able to bring that emotional connection into a household over radio waves. Of course, Vin Scully, he's a legend in his own right. And he's somebody you can never really be exactly like, but his ability to weave in stories was where I found really spoke with me. You know, having a sideline background, that was where I attached myself, in humanizing these athletes and bringing those qualities in between the pitches to fans, so where they can understand, yeah, you can't hit 300 like these guys can, but there's so many more reasons why you should be able to relate to them.
Wow.
Melanie, your story has gotten a lot of traction. It's everywhere. I saw it on the front page of Yahoo. It has been everywhere. Who has reached out to you in the last couple of days that you're like, wow, that's surprising? First of all, how did they get my number? And two, that's really cool.
Yeah, I feel really fortunate having had so many years in the minor leagues and taking those initiatives to be at Arizona Fall League, to be at the winter meetings. I felt like I already had a pretty good family around the major league side of things. Certainly, Jenny Cavnar and Susan Waldman have become near and dear to my heart. Susan is like family to me at this point. She's great. Seeing Billie Jean King for the second time saying something about it and acknowledging it just really blew me away, because I think that's that moment that transcends into other sports and giving that recognition. I never expected that in my lifetime, but nonetheless, it just means so much to me just to see how much our industry has changed in embracing everybody of any gender or background that there is to come into the sport.
Melanie, how strange. I mean, you want to be calling it with a packed Camden Yards. How strange has it been? Has it been easier, you think? Kind of take the pressure off a little bit? Or has it been harder without the fans and just kind of the sterile environment with which you're calling the games?
So I definitely want the fans back.
Yeah.
100% you miss it. And I always thought that would be the moment that it hit me that I had finally made it to the big leagues, was March 26th on the sidelines, and the Yankees were across the field from us, and it's a packed house. Obviously that didn't happen. So there's still those little pieces here and there where it kind of sinks in, like, oh, I get to come here every day now. This isn't just a 1 or 2 day assignment. But for the most part, yeah, you're right. Not having fans in the booth or in the stadium rather has made it such a calm, serene setting. I mean, when we called the exhibition game with the Nationals, it was the three of us in the entire park. And it was just so quiet and unreal, but it really does kind of help you tamp down the nerves a little bit and just relax.
I'm in awe of play-by-play announcers. I give you complete credit. Do you ever, because I would be so shaken in my boots that I would practice my calls like before in in my bedroom or my bathroom. Have you ever done that?
I can safely say I've never practiced my calls ahead of time. And I think that is one thing that always makes me laugh is people want to know what's your signature home run call. And I think that call depends on, first of all, who's hitting the home run, because it shouldn't be the same for every guy across the board. Now, there were times during the shutdown, especially once the KBO got back up, I would sit at home and mute that and start just, making up, giving them Orioles names and calling that, because I thought, I'm going to be about a year out of it by the time we finally have a game. I don't want to come back and be completely caught off guard by all of this.
Is it Santander? Is it how do we say it so
That's
I never
good
mess
question.
it up again?
Kevin Brown might come after you for this one, because to his credit, he has had this from the start. It is Santander.
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 I love it.
Okay. What'd you have for breakfast?
So far, I haven't had anything yet, because we've actually
For
had
her.
wall-to-wall, and we've had wall-to-wall interviews
gentleman.
since 7:30 this morning. But I have coffee in
love
my
it.
Orioles mug.
Can I offer you a
So
crumb
eventually
cake?
it'll be eggs.
Can we interest you in crumb
We've
cake?
got a giant
And a
crumb
giant
cake here
crumb cake.
if you want.
I would love that, actually. If you'd like to just send that through here, that'd be great.
Melanie.
So, Melanie, what's next?
The Marlins tonight
Yes,
is what's
there we go.
next.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Melanie, keep going. We are listening, and we are certainly thrilled for you.
Congratulations.
Melanie Newman, congratulations, joins us on
Thank
MLB
you, guys.
Central.